This special meeting of the Lake County Board of Commissioners is May 31st, 2020. Would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority, and may we use in our directives for the common good and for thy honor and glory. Amen. Thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hamercheck?
Here.
Commissioner Plechnik?
Present.
Thank you. Okay, first agenda item, please.
In the engineer's office, resolution declaring an emergency to develop plans and specifications and execute a contract for repair of the Madison Avenue retaining wall at the Painesville Township, City of Painesville line for execution with the Lake County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Lake County Engineer's Office.
Move to approve.
Second, and discussion. Engineer Gills?
Yes, Commissioners. This is a resolution that we said last Thursday we're going to bring forward. We have a failing wall section again on Madison Avenue. I will unfortunately report that it is moved since my last report last Thursday. It's still moving and slowly, but it is moving. This resolution will allow us to immediately hire a contractor or an engineer or both to expedite the repairs before we have a catastrophic failure. We don't believe it's quite there yet, but if it keeps moving, anything can happen at any time. We are having a meeting with Great Lakes tomorrow morning on site and with Burgess Snipel. We've also picked up a testing laboratory to do the immediate soil borings. So we are moving along on this as fast as possible. All the exciting things that happen with these kind of things are happening, including the fact that we've been told by some residents that this is unacceptable. I think the alternative is not acceptable either, so we've tried to explain to them that this is, nobody planned this. So, but with that, we would appreciate your immediate consideration.
Indeed, sir. And to follow up on the residents' concerns, you did predict that this was a very real possibility, so hate to say it, but you were right.
Yeah, and this is a nasty section of the wall too, because the river is probably about 5-6 feet away from it. So, and it is taller than the other section, almost twice as tall. And so it is a very scary long drop.
Gotcha. All right. Commissioner Plechnik, anything to add, sir?
Mr. President, I would just say
Your microphone, sir.
I'd just say thanks to our engineer for his vigilance, because this is a safety issue first and foremost. And while we certainly will work with all due speed to reopen the avenue, first and foremost, we're here to take care of people and make sure no one gets hurt.
Very good. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hamercheck?
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik?
Yes.
Thank you. Next item, please.
In the Commissioner's office, resolution authorizing execution of agreements between the Lake County Board of Commissioners and Insight Lexipol for funds received from the U.S. Department of Treasury under the Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, known as the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
Move to approve.
Second, and discussion. Jason, did you want to add some things to this?
Yes, Commissioners, good morning. Thank you. Yeah, the resolution before you, we've been working on this for quite some time as far as the, I know Commissioner Hamercheck was in office probably the better part of 2 years on continuing the Commissioner's investment in public safety throughout Lake County, be it software, facilities, personnel, prosecutors, and so on. This is yet another example using the ARPA dollars of a $1.2 million investment for all 22 police agencies for Lexipol, which is kind of an online training policy manual update, which will allow first responders, notably police responders, to stay in touch with policies and procedures in accordance with local, state, and federal laws. This is a 5-year project. The commissioners will pay for every agency in Lake County as far as police departments are concerned for that time. This project, with all of our other ARPA projects, did go through the internal review process, followed up by a review memo and concurrence from Amanda Gordon, outside counsel, was also sent down to Mr. Colson's office, wherein Dave Hackman also provide concurrence. This is on Equalis Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. So everything is ready after today's resolution to begin processing that. Each agency will have their own user agreement with the Lexipol representatives, and then kind of the county will kind of get out of their way so they can do what they do best. We're essentially financing this investment with our police agencies throughout Lake County.
Well said, and thank you for making that point, that this in no way is the county taking over any of the control from our local law enforcement or local elected leaders. We're just making sure that there's a platform that is completely harmonized with the revised code, court precedent, best practices, and we're giving them the tools to implement that on a county-wide basis. And I do believe, although we've been working on this now almost 2 years, we will still be the first county-wide application in the state of Ohio, and I believe it's rumored that we may be the first in the nation going countywide. So we're still right out there on the point, but we are investing the time and the diligence to do it right.
And I think Chiefs Waterman, all the chiefs, and particularly Chief Waterman and Chief Schultz as of late, have been a big assistance to me coordinating information flow from all the chiefs in their busy schedule to get where we are today. So I just want to say thanks to the Chiefs Association as well.
Indeed. Well said. Commissioner Pletcher?
Mr. President, I was here when this plan was first announced as a resident and citizen of Lake County, so it's exciting to be sitting on the other end of the dais to vote it forward today. This will be a substantial help and service to all 22 of our police departments in Lake County, and as our county manager said, it reflects our priority of putting law enforcement first in Lake County. It's critical that we keep Lake County safe, and this is another aspect of that by dramatically improving training and reducing the burden on municipalities to provide that top-line training.
Thank you.
And I believe we have Mayor Regovich in attendance. Sir, would you care to add some thoughts? Thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you, and I want to thank the commissioners for getting this done. What a lot of people don't realize how tight a budget is on a small city like Willowick. And I can tell you firsthand, this is something that gets cut from our budget. These are the things that don't happen. So when we have a county-wide situation like this and a program like this, it's almost a luxury for us. But now that we know that all law enforcement in this county are going to have the training and have the policies that government mandates nowadays. So every time there's an unfunded mandate, the cities and the taxpayers pay at the local level. So this is a great way to be forward thinking countywide, and I applaud the effort. I know it did take a while. Talked to my police chief earlier today. He's excited about it, and so I just want to again thanks to the commissioners to making this happen and getting it done.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your support. Okay. Any other comments? All right. Hearing no further comments, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck?
Yes.
Commissioner Pletchner?
Yes.
Thank you. I do not believe we have any other necessary business, Jason. Madam Clerk. Oh, Jim. Yes.
I thought I'd update you real quickly on, we have heard from the Corps
Oh, yes.
on Madison Avenue. They have advanced our application to DC, which is good news.
Excellent.
They have warned us that it's DC and the government works very slow, so we won't be hearing for a little while, but they're monitoring it. They want all the information that they like the information we sent them on what we're doing right now, and anything else that comes out of that they want right away, so they'll advance it forward.
And again, I would be remiss if I did not say this is another example of the great partnership that we've been enjoying working with you and the detailed documentation, the overwhelming memorialization. I realize in some worlds they would say that means the same thing, but there is a difference in that distinction. The documentation that you've been providing is real, substantive, and it's been persuasive. That's impressive. And the fact that you've been keeping people informed as this goes through the process. And as Commissioner Plechnik pointed out, the safety issue. If there were a catastrophic failure of this, as I recall, the last concern was compromising of homes in that area. That's, again, very important. And for that, we say thank you to you and your team. Now let's just hope that Washington reads the documents. I know you can write the best novel, and if nobody reads it, it might be propping up a table somewhere. Bless you. Thank you, sir. All right. If there's no other business, Madam Clerk, to come before us? None? No? Okay.
Mr. President?
Sir.
We do have usually just a moment to speak before the end of the meeting for new business. I know we don't typically have that for a special meeting, but I did want to share, I came here directly from Wickliffe City Hall, where Mayor Joe Sakis gave me the grand tour of Colby Mansion. As you know, they have the most unique city hall in Lake County, given that it was originally a private residence of their first mayor, Harry Colby. And as he started the tour, he mentioned that Mr. Colby was the czar of the Great Lakes and that he'd made his fortune working for Pick and Mathers Company, which is still in operation today. Specifically, he worked managing their fleet that operated on Lake Erie and the other Great Lakes. But I immediately thought the name Mather, now that rung a bell. Turns out that it rung a bell for the right reason. One of the three founders of Pick and Mathers is Samuel Mathers, who actually built and owned and lived in Mather Mansion, which is one of the few mansions on Millionaires Row that's been preserved. It's currently the property of Cleveland State University. So I have spent many evenings in Mather Mansion for student recruitment and other issues. And it's interesting to see the linkage between Colby Mansion and Wickliffe and Mather Mansion in Cleveland, because Harry Colby actually worked for Samuel Mathers Company. It's a small world in Northeast Ohio, but it was definitely a beautiful tour. I know their historic society gives tours all the time. I would recommend it. It's amazing to see what 19th century living was like when you had unlimited money.
Well, that's a whole nother Mather, so. Yeah, there's a few groans in the audience here. Our new social media person's just shaking her head like, really? Did I just hear that? Okay, on that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
And I will second that. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Hammercheck?
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik?
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us today. This meeting stands adjourned.